Kondosan.
What's the matter, kid?
The wind blew my painting away, and now it's stuck way up the tree.
This?
Yes, can you get it for me?
At that moment, the wolf had a wicked idea.
I'll get it down for you, but in return, you'll make me invisible.
The artist goat gave it some thought and came up with an idea.
I want no one to see me.
Okay. Hold still.
Artist goat painted the wolf so well, no one could tell him apart from the wooden barn wall.
Look, no one can see you now.
The wolf was extremely happy, so he immediately went to the chicken coop. Wolf's plan worked very well, as nobody could see him. So he took the eggs one by one. When the wolf opened the coop door, even the artist goat couldn't see the wolf as he blended with the wooden door.
Oh no, I think I did something wrong. Wolf's leaving with the eggs.
The artist goat went to see the dog right away and told him everything.
Mr. Wolf, where do you think you're going? Why do you have all these eggs in your hands?
Who? Me? You can see me.
Don't be so sure. What about the tail of yours in the back? Hand the eggs back. Now.
Well, yeah, it was just a little prank.
And I'll show you a prank too. After I put these eggs back in their place.
Once the dog put all the eggs back, he started chasing the wolf.
This will be my best painting.
Bad Wolf had trapped Mother Goat in the ship's stall.
We have to save our mother.
Be quiet. Wolf could be around.
Now you're doomed.
Bad Wolf captured one of the little goats, but the other one was fast and managed to escape. His heart was beating fast in his chest from fear.
Quick, help!
What's going on?
Bad Wolf captured our brother too.
Oh no! What can we do now? We'll save them!
But how?
I have a plan.
What are our chances against the big wolf? He's just so strong and huge.
He may be strong, but we can beat him using our brain. Remember, Mother always says, reason is superior to brute strength.
True. Let's get to work then.
The little goats huddled to come up with a plan to save their mother and sibling. Just then, Wolf had tied the little goat up next to Mother Goat.
Don't be scared, my child. We'll get out of here.
The little goats intended to save Mother Goat and their siblings before dinner time, or else it'd be too late. They went to the ship's door immediately. Once they got there, they began to shout as loud as they could. Soon after, Wolf got out to see what was going on.
Not only my dinner, but a whole month's food is here.
Wolf opened the door suddenly and lunged at the little goats. But the goats knew Wolf would fall for this trick, so they ran fast. Wolf chased after them. There was a lot of running around on the ship's hallways. The little goat skidded to a stop in front of an ajar door and went inside. Wolf did the same too and shut the door behind him. But to his surprise, Wolf found many children running toward him instead. Wolf then realized the little goats had tricked him, but it was too late. The children lunged at Wolf, some were tugging his tail, some were biting on his ear, and some took him for a pillow and hugged him tightly. Then, a child pulled Wolf's whiskers forcefully, so Wolf ran for his life and threw himself into the sea.
Come on, inside.
Please, let me go. I'll never be in your way again. Everyone is probably worried.
Quiet now. You should have thought about this before. It's too late now.
While they tried to devise a plan, they ran into the lion. Lion was chief of police, so they were happy to see him and told him what had happened.
Bad Wolf, I've been on his tail for some time now. I haven't been able to catch him red-handed.
We are so happy to see you.
We should approach quietly. Wolf's ears are so acute. If he hears us, he may get away again.
We are so close. I can hear his voice. Oh, my baby must be so afraid.
Now listen to me, little goats. I need you to knock on the door. Wolf will be so happy to see you and let you in. I'll sneak around the house and enter through the window. Mother Goat and Teacher, wait at the front door not to let him get away.
Who is it?
We are lost. Could you let us in?
Wolf's eyes twinkled. Today must be my lucky day, he thought.
Oh, how nice to have such guests. Come on inside, there's no need to be afraid. See, your brother is here too.
The little goats walked towards the room. At that moment, Lion watched them through the window and waited for the right opportunity. The wolf had a wicked grin on his face, and he drooled all over the floor.
I got you all now.
Mother Goat and Teacher knocked on the door on Lion's signal.
What now? How many more little goats are there?
Just as Wolf was about to open the door, Lion lunged at him. Wolf managed to escape his grip.
I've been after you for some time, Bad Wolf. Come here!
This is not fair! Where did you come from now?
As Wolf ran, trying to escape from Lion, one of the little goats extended his leg in front of Wolf. He tripped over it and fell.
The power of little goats. Come on, let's get Bad Wolf.
All at once, the little goats attacked Wolf. Some pulled his tail and others bit his ear and nose. The lion took the wolf from the little goats. He subdued him and locked him up in the cage.
KONDOSAN. KONDOSAN.
Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful queen and a handsome king. The queen was not only beautiful, but she was kind and generous. Her people loved her dearly. She always helped people and wanted her country to always be in abundance. The queen always longed to have a daughter. One day, as she sat embroidering by the window, she daydreamed of her future daughter. In a daze, she accidentally pricked her finger with her embroidery needle. The blood from her finger dripped onto the white fabric she was embroidering. At that very moment, a shooting star crossed the sky. The queen made a wish.
Dear God, please send me a daughter. Let her be so beautiful that everyone admires her. Let her have pink cheeks, black hair like mine, her lips as red as this drop of blood, her eyes as bright as diamonds, and her skin as white as this very cloth. She should always smell like the flowers in my garden. Let her teeth be as white as the pearls on my neck.
A short time after that, her wish came true, and she shared the good news with the king and announced that they were expecting a baby.
My queen, wish what you will from me. I'll get you the most wonderful gift.
My health is not as good as it used to be. What I ask of you is to protect our child from all evil. Please promise me that you'll protect her. There's nothing more I wish for.
When the time came, the queen gave birth to a very beautiful girl. Just as she had wished for, her daughter had black hair, red lips, bright eyes, skin as white as snow, and smelled like flowers. They named her Snow White because of the whiteness of her skin. Soon after, the queen's health deteriorated and she passed away. The young king was very sad. While he mourned his beloved wife, he also tried to raise Snow White as best he could. When Snow White turned 5, a big ball was organized at the palace. The king was celebrating his daughter's birthday and also choosing a new queen. At the ball, there was a beautiful woman who had magical powers. She used these powers to dance with the king and cast a spell on him and married the king and became the queen. Snow White's stepmother was a very beautiful woman, but she was also vain, cruel, and evil. From the day she arrived at the palace, she despised Snow White. She saw her as her rival. The queen also had a magic mirror. She always consulted the mirror about the future and would ask,
Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My dear queen, it's you. You're the most beautiful woman in the world.
And so, time passed by. Snow White became a very beautiful young girl. Those who saw her could not look away. As she strolled in the palace gardens, the wind that brushed her hair would spread her flowery scent. Birds and butterflies would always follow her around, and her voice was so heavenly that when she sang, birds in the gardens would go silent and listen to her. One day, the queen asked her mirror,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My queen, you are very beautiful, but the most beautiful girl is Snow White.
The jealous and cruel queen got so angry that she held the bottle in her hand at the magical mirror.
How is that possible? No one's more beautiful than me. Summon the princess at once.
Meanwhile, she had locked up the king in the palace dungeon and told everyone that he was away working for his people. She also summoned the palace hunter and gave him strict orders.
I want you to kill Snow White and bring her heart to me as proof.
Snow White, who had no idea of her fate, came to see the evil queen.
Dear Snow White, you haven't been out for days. You must be bored inside the castle. I'd like you to bring me some strawberries from the forest. This way you'll be able to get some fresh air. You'll have a good time, don't worry. I'll send you my trustworthy hunter with you.
As the princess picked strawberries with the hunter, they got deep into the forest. The poor hunter was very sad.
How can I harm someone with such a good heart and such beauty? There must be another way.
The hunter couldn't bring himself to kill her. They sat under a tree and he told her about the queen's evil plan.
My princess, please go far away. If the queen finds out what I've done, she will kill both of us.
He immediately hunted an animal and brought its heart to the queen. The princess spent the night under that tree. She was so scared. At dawn, she went on her journey. After a long walk, she reached a small house and went inside. She looked around in amazement.
What is this place? Everything is so small and there's 7 of everything. 7 small chairs, 7 pairs of forks and spoons.
Since she was so hungry, she made soup with the ingredients she found in the house. She ate and went upstairs. And then she fell asleep in one of the small beds. At night, the house owners returning from the mine were actually the 7 dwarves. Their names were Doc, Dopey, Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, Bashful, and Sleepy.
Hey, what's this? It smells like delicious soup.
No! It's like someone entered the house.
Come! Look! There's a girl sleeping here!
The commotion woke up Snow White. She was scared when she first saw them. She then told them everything that happened to her.
My name is Snow White. I don't mean any harm. I don't have a place to go. That's why I took shelter here. Please, let me stay.
Of course, Princess. We are not going to let you stay alone in the forest. Don't worry.
You are our first guest who makes such delicious soup.
Time passed by. Days and weeks. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs were laughing, having fun together, and living a peaceful life. Meanwhile, the evil queen, not knowing that Snow White was still alive, asked the mirror again.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My queen, you're beautiful, but Snow White, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is more beautiful.
Ah! How's this possible? The hunter must have lied to me. First, I will get rid of Snow White, and then I will teach the hunter a lesson.
She immediately worked on an evil plan. She poisoned an apple and disguised herself as an old woman to trick Snow White.
Hello? Anybody home? I'm so hungry and I ran out of food.
The 7 dwarfs had warned Snow White to not open the door to anyone. But Snow White felt sorry for the old woman that came to her door, and so let her in without a doubt.
Please come in. Welcome. Thanks, my child. I got so tired and hungry in the forest. Do you have something to eat?
Yes, of course. I have some soup.
After finishing her soup, the evil queen, disguised as the old woman, offered the poisoned apple to Snow White. The princess took a bite and fell on the floor, falling asleep. The old woman turned back into the evil queen and happily went back to her palace. When the 7 dwarfs who came back from the mine in the evening saw her laying on the floor, they thought that she had died and so were very sad.
We should make her eternal sleep comfortable. Let's make a nice bed for her.
A handsome prince who was walking through the forest heard the 7 dwarfs crying. He got curious and approached them.
Oh my, what's going on here?
He was very surprised when he looked to see who was laying in the crystal bed surrounded by flowers. She was the girl who had been in his dreams for days. The smell of her hair was still all over the forest.
Who is this beautiful girl?
Her name is Snow White. We haven't been able to wake her up.
They told the prince everything that had happened. The prince lifted the crystal cover to give a farewell kiss to the girl of his dreams. He kissed her on the cheek. At that moment, something unexpected happened. The spell broke and a miracle occurred. Snow White opened her eyes and got up in bed. The 7 dwarves and the prince were very happy.
You are the girl of my dreams, Snow White. This is the best day of my life. Will you marry me?
First, I need to find my father and tell him about everything that happened, and also get his blessing.
They went back to the palace and got the king out of the dungeon. The evil queen fled in fear. The prince and Snow White got married and lived happily ever after.
KONDOSAN.
Once upon a time, there lived a family who had a daughter named Cinderella. They were a very happy family. However, once their kind-hearted mother suddenly passed away, their happiness came to an end. Cinderella's father married another woman soon after. The woman had 2 spoiled and spiteful daughters. They were just as unkind as their mother. They all came to live in the house. Cinderella now had 2 stepsisters and a stepmother. Everyone loved Cinderella, who was incredibly kind and beautiful. She had long blonde hair, ocean blue-coloured eyes, and delicate feet and hands. She was a girl who enjoyed helping everyone around her, cooked delicious meals, loved plants, and protected animals. Out of jealousy, the stepsisters made sure to make Cinderella's life miserable. They made her do all the housework and used her as the housemaid. Her only friend was a tabby cat. When she finished her chores, she would take her cat on her lap, sit by the fireplace, and tell him about her misfortune. She always told him how much she missed her mother. That's why Cinderella was nicknamed Cindercat. Unfortunately, soon after, her father died too. The stepsisters and stepmother gave Cinderella a room in the attic.
You can't stay on the same floor as us. You're better suited up there. Please, let me and my cat get warmed up by the fireplace.
Only after we go to bed. The ashes of the fireplace should be enough for you. Your clothes are ripped and torn. We don't want to see you around. Poor Cinderella accepted her fate. Every night she would sit next to the fireplace and try to warm herself with the cinders left in it. One day, a soldier stopped by their home to invite all girls who were of age to marry to a ball at the palace.
Our king is to leave his throne to his son. The only condition is for him to marry a suitable girl. How many girls are there in this house who are of age?
Joyously, the mother presented her own 2 daughters. I have 2 beautiful girls.
Then who is that girl that I see in the kitchen wiping the floors?
She's our housemaid. How could we bring her to the palace?
It doesn't matter. I must write her name down as well.
Even if you write her name down, it won't matter. She has no clothes or shoes to wear. Go ahead, write it down. Cinderella begged her stepmother.
Please, give me one of my sister's dresses, so I can come too.
No, you will not go. You will clean the floors until we come back. Do you think the prince will choose you over my daughters, the Cindercat? The 3 of them mocked Cinderella and chased her away. Finally, the day of the ball arrived.
Ooh!
All dressed up, they went to the ball and left Cinderella behind. Cinderella cried hopelessly. Right at that moment, a glowing fairy appeared before Cinderella.
Your mother has sent me here to help you. She is watching over you from above. Let's get to it. Find me a large pumpkin and 6 mice.
Ouch, 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 don't hit me, I'm sick and tired of these goats hitting my head. Come on, download our game and show how fast you are.
Cinderella did what the fairy asked of her right away. She brought the pumpkin, and the mice in her room, who were already her friends, came running to help. With the wand in her hand, the fairy turned the pumpkin into a fantastic carriage. 4 mice into white horses, 1 mouse into a coachman, and 1 into a footman. Finally, it was Cinderella's turn. The fairy touched her head with her wand and turned her into a wonderful princess.
Remember, don't stay past midnight. The spell will break after 12 o'clock. You must leave the ball before 12. Good luck.
Cinderella got in the carriage and went straight to the palace. As soon as she entered the ballroom, everyone stared at her and held their breath. They were curious to learn who she was. She must be a princess from another country. They asked themselves who else would arrive in such a magnificent carriage and wear exquisite jewels. The prince, who saw Cinderella, came up to her immediately.
My lady, will you dance with me?
With pleasure, His Royal Highness.
It was love at first sight. The prince danced with Cinderella all night. The king and queen also really liked Cinderella. This girl would suit us and our palace as well. She's noble and beautiful. We have found our bride. All the other girls at the ball, including the stepmother and stepsisters, were huffing and puffing with jealousy.
Where do you come from? Where do you live? What's your name?
Time passed by really quickly. Cinderella, who saw that it was almost 12 o'clock, left the prince unexpectedly and ran out of the palace. As she hurried down the palace stairs, she lost one of her glass shoes. But because she was in such a hurry, she left it behind, got in the carriage, and went home. At exactly midnight, everything turned into what it was before. The prince, who had run after Cinderella, was in complete shock. He hadn't been able to catch up to her, but he found her glass shoe on the stairs. When Cinderella came home, she was surprised at what she saw. The house was sparkling clean. There was even a hot soup brewing on the stove. The fairy had sorted this out too. When Cinderella went to her room, she was very sad.
But what now? I'll never be able to see the prince again. Don't worry. Everything will be okay.
Meanwhile, the prince thought only about the beautiful girl who had run away from the ball.
I must find her. I will take no other as my queen. Tomorrow we will try this shoe on every girl's foot that attended the ball last night and across the city. If the shoe fits someone, then that girl will be my queen.
The next day, soldiers walked door to door and asked all the girls who had attended the ball to try on the glass shoe. Everyone wore the shoe with excitement, but it didn't fit anyone. Finally, it was time for Cinderella's home. Everyone was incredibly excited. The stepsisters spent hours massaging and creaming their feet in order to shorten them. And they locked Cinderella in the attic. Yet, the shoe didn't fit either of the sisters' feet.
Come on.
Just as the soldiers were about to leave, they heard a sound from upstairs. Cinderella had managed to catch their attention by knocking down a cupboard.
What's that sound? Who's upstairs?
The house cat. There's no one.
No cat can make such a noise. Don't lie. Let's go upstairs and have a look.
Immediately.
Huh?
They got Cinderella out of the locked room and asked her to try on the glass shoe.
Oh.
The shoe fit perfectly. Cinderella showed them the other pair. The soldiers knew that they had found the princess and ran to the palace to deliver the good news. The prince joyously arrived at Cinderella's house and recognized her right away.
Will you marry me and be my princess?
Having received the answer as yes, he took her to the palace. Cinderella told him about everything that had happened to her.
Everything was fine.
They got married with a wedding lasting 40 days and 40 nights. The first thing Cinderella did was to have her tabby cat brought to the palace. They lived happily ever after, and the good fairy looked over them at all times.
KONDOSAN